Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to a brand new episode of Morgan County Movers and Shakers, where we uncover hidden gems and get to know the local leaders of Morgan County. And today we have a real treat for you. Our special guest is someone who loves chocolate and will get you loving it too, and has all kinds of wonderful, beautiful gifts in her shop for you to buy. So let's get ready to witness the magic of local business ingenuity as we dive in and get to know Jatika Manigault in her business, the chocolate box. I'm super excited to have you here, Jatika. I'm
Thank
so glad that you agreed to do this with me.
I appreciate you coming out. Thank you so much.
And I can't wait for the people to get to know how wonderful and special you are.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, well, let's get down to it.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about the chocolate box. What is your inspiration for this place?
Well, the Chocolate Box gift shop started off as a gift shop, which is very funny. I thought I would carry unique and eclectic items that Madison hadn't seen before. There are a lot of really terrific shops on Main Street, but I wanted, since I'm off the beaten path, I wanted to have something a little bit different, a little bit fun, and a little bit creative.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that was interesting is when the mayor did the ribbon cutting on November 3rd of 2022, he said to me, Jatika, there's no chocolate in the chocolate box gift shop. I said, well, Mr. Mayor, we're a gift shop. He said, yeah, but my wife likes chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
So a month later, I had chocolate.
There you go.
And it's been the driving point of the store ever since, has been the chocolate.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. When I first saw the store, I was a little disappointed there was no chocolate. But then when I came in and saw the chocolate truffles, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is my place.
Well, I have a lot of return customers who come back looking for a particular flavor. And that's the other part of the store is, instead of just having truffles, and my truffles come from a company in Vermont that only makes truffles, which is what I like about them. After a while, I just decided to expand and include different types of chocolate. So I've added chocolate covered pretzels, I've added different chocolates, and then in October, we are adding fudge. And that will come from a company that only makes fudge. And ironically enough, they're also in Vermont,
Oh, wow. Vermont's a good place for skiing
apparently.
and fudge and chocolate. So tell us a little bit about you. Where are you originally from?
I was born and raised in Harlem, New York. And since then, I've moved and lived only in Metropolis. So I moved from Harlem to Houston, Texas. And the funny thing is, first going to Houston, I didn't know how to drive, which Texans found very odd for someone my age, because I was 30 when I moved to Houston. And I said, you don't know how to drive? What's wrong? Well, how did that happen? And I said, I'm from New York.
Yeah,
I
that's
said,
right.
can you hail a cab? But after Houston, I moved to Atlanta,
Okay.
and Atlanta was a good fit. I really felt comfortable with living in Atlanta. I lived a short time in Charleston, South Carolina to care for my parents. My mother had Alzheimer's. She since passed, but mother passed at 98, and my father passed 4 months later at 99.
Wow.
And they had been married over 75 years.
That's amazing.
So I figured with all of that, I'm probably going to live to be about 125 at least.
Sure.
But
Especially eating chocolate.
oh, yeah. Coming back to Atlanta, I worked for Morehouse College and I was in the alumni office. So my office was responsible for the students after they graduated, not so much while they were in school. And I enjoyed it. It was an honor to work with a HBCU, historically black and college and university.
Hmm.
So it was great to be in that environment. But
Hmm.
as I started to get older, I wanted to do something for me
Hmm.
that was about me. And as much as I love watching the kids graduate and go on to do great things, I realized that I now have to look at what do I want to do for me. And I looked at places where I could have my gift shop, and I looked in Atlanta, and unfortunately, Atlanta locations were very expensive.
Yes.
And I kept traveling east. I looked at Covington, um, and Covington was a great town because it has a lot of movie info. People film their movies
Mm-hmm.
in Covington, and I thought that would be kind of cool. But they didn't have any space.
Mm.
And so I wound up in Madison and I fell in love with the area, the antebellum homes,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt like a good fit. So
Okay.
that's how I wound up in Madison.
All right. So why did you choose this profession of doing a gift shop? Is this just something that was near and dear to your heart? What made you want to do this?
I have always enjoyed retail. The drawback was when I was coming up or when I was in business, I it just didn't pay enough. So I couldn't say, well, I'm going to work in retail full time and learn on somebody else's dime, as they say, and become my own business owner. I just couldn't do that. I couldn't get paid as much as I wanted to help me pay my bills
Mm-hmm.
and to help me raise my family.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wound up still working in other industries. So I was in consulting. I spoke professionally. I still do some speaking um, in other areas, but retail was always my first love. And every time I worked in retail, either part time or full time for a short time, I always saw things that I would do differently.
Mm-hmm.
And after technically retiring from Morehouse, I decided this would be a good time for me to open a business and see if I could really do this. And I've loved it. It's been interesting. I love when people come into the store and I get a chance to talk to folks and tell them and find out about them, tell them about myself. I have pictures of my grandchildren on the wall, so that
Mm-hmm.
generates conversation. But I really do enjoy having a retail store.
Mm-hmm. What is the biggest surprise that has kind of hit you? Like,
I think the biggest surprise is pricing merchandise.
mm,
You have to, in retail, you have to say, I have to price this at a certain amount so that I can A, make money, B, pay my bills, and C, have enough for me to make a profit.
mm-hmm.
And you you go to trade shows and you go to the market. I used to go to the market and I went to the market in New York and the market in Texas and Dallas because I wanted to get something different from the markets that were here in
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta. I've been to the Atlanta market and
Mm-hmm.
it's great,
Mm-hmm.
but I was hoping by going to other markets, I said, well, let me see if I can get a different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest surprise was adding the chocolate.
Mm.
Once it was funny, people came in and they would look and they go, "Oh, thought you had chocolate."
Yeah.
And so they'd leave or they come and they'd look around. And some people bought, but they were looking for chocolate. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought, okay, the mayor was right. And I added chocolate. Literally a month after opening, I added the truffles.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm expanding and it's been a journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's been interesting, but I've enjoyed it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what was it like when you first started?
I was more of a novelty in Madison. I'm the only black owned retail business.
Mm-hmm.
I have attached to my business is a soul food restaurant, and she moved here. Benny Paul
Mm-hmm.
moved here from Buckhead, Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
and her food was so good that her customers followed her.
Nice.
So I get a lot of her customers who come here after they've eaten
Mm-hmm.
and they come here and they shop and they look. So that's been really nice. I had no concept of life in a small town.
Yeah.
I
Different in it.
Oh my God. You have to understand, I grew up surrounded by subways, buses, traffic, tall buildings,
Mm-hmm.
lots of people. Being able to walk out on the street and hail a cab.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot do that in a small town. It's very weird. Because remember, every place I've lived other than Charleston, and even Charleston has mass transit.
Mm-hmm.
But coming to Madison was very strange because after a certain hour, there's nobody outside.
Closes down.
It just shuts down. And that was odd. I was like, okay, where's everyone?
Uh-huh.
But after a while, it becomes comforting.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Like they
reassuring.
shut down now.
And so now I'm kind of used to it. I still maybe take out the garbage at say 11 o'clock at night, and there's nobody out there.
Yeah.
There's somebody out there. And I look around, and because I'm across the street from Amici's,
Uh-huh.
which is a popular restaurant chain, um, I see them and they'll wave at me and they go, "Hi, chocolate box lady,"
Yeah.
because who can say my name? So it's nice when
Hmm.
people see you
Hmm.
and they know you as opposed to being in a large city and getting
Uh-huh.
lost.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'm ready for being the chocolate box lady, but okay.
Okay. Well, tell us something about that most people don't know about your business.
The items here in the gift shop area are from South Africa, from Cape Town. I went to Cape Town in January and I fell in love with it. The only reason I couldn't live there is because they drive on the other side of the road
Yes.
and the wheel of the car is on the other side of the car.
Hmm.
I would be an accident waiting to happen.
Just hail a cab.
I Ubered everywhere. Uh, and so I brought back a lot of merchandise that I hope people will find. Again, it is all about making it so that when people come here, they see things and items and gifts that they can give to someone that they know they won't find anyplace else. And so that was a lot of fun. I think what I like the most is when someone says, "Oh, I like this. I can put this in my house and no one will know where I got this from." Or you can say, "Yeah, I got this in Madison." And
Hmm.
they'll just be surprised. So
Yeah.
I like the idea of having unique and unusual items that
Hmm.
people can buy.
Hmm. Right. So, what would people say that they love about your business?
The chocolate,
The chocolate. Yeah.
hands down, it's the chocolate. Uh, People come in looking for a particular truffle.
Mm.
And so I have to reorder often certain truffles like sea salt, tiramisu, which I have to admit I've never heard of until
Tiramisu.
I ordered it. Tiramisu, I've never heard of. And people love it. The key lime.
Mm.
And it's interesting. Some people like dark and will
Hmm.
not eat white chocolate.
Hmm.
Some people like milk and will not touch dark chocolate.
Hmm.
So I said, well, let me see if I can create a flavor box.
Hmm.
So I had an event that I attended, and when I got back to the store, I had it packaged. I still had it packaged. I said, "Well, I'll put it out as a special. You can get five for $5, but they were all the same flavor.
Mm.
So it was all dark or all milk. I sold out of it.
Mm.
It was just very interesting. And I tell people, you don't get to choose because it's already packaged,
Hmm.
but I can assure you it's all dark or it's all milk. All white didn't do well.
Hmm.
All white chocolate just doesn't do well. It felt like adding it to something else was a good fit.
Hmm.
But it's interesting to me how people have favorites,
Hmm.
and the other thing that does well, candles.
Hmm.
And I have a
I do like
signature
candles.
candle. Yeah, I have a signature candle that I had made especially for the store in Augusta, Georgia. They have the candle shop is in Augusta. They make their candles right there, and you get to choose the scents. I want to
Hmm.
call it flavors, but it's scents, and they're very strong.
Hmm.
So I tell people, don't light the candle unless you're trying to get a certain ambiance. To use a coffee warmer and put the
Mm.
candle on a warmer,
Yeah.
so you can have that scent for weeks,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it seems to do well. I would say after the chocolate candles are the biggest seller.
Okay. So, have you had any odd requests from any of your clients?
Peanut butter,
Peanut butter.
peanut butter,
Okay.
and peanuts.
Okay.
And well, chocolate covered pretzels I started carrying. Peanut butter and chocolate covered cherries
Hmm.
are probably the two biggest requests. And I tell people, oh, chocolate covered strawberries.
Hmm.
And I tell people because I don't have a commercial kitchen,
Hmm.
I can't do certain things. So I have to go to a vendor and say, can you make this for me? And then I bring it in.
Hmm.
I haven't done that with strawberries because I wanted them to be more,
Yeah.
I
They
want
don't
it to be
keep long.
fresh and
Yeah.
they may not keep.
Hmm.
I may do it as a tasting to see if it worked. Malted milk balls,
I love malted milk balls.
they went
Get
fast.
me
And
a
I
box
had,
of Whoppers any day.
oh, and the thing that's interesting is they had several flavors. I had I had key lime. I had lemon meringue. I had
In malted?
and malted milk balls. I had it was they were so good. So I did samples. And once the samples were gone, I said, let me see if I'm gonna do this again. So I'm gonna bring back malted milk balls in October with the fudge.
Did y'all hear that?
So if you like malted milk balls, October is gonna be your
So what are your goals for the next year?
this is gonna make you sad.
Oh no.
I'm putting all the merchandise online. So the
That's
merchandise won't be in the store.
Are you
Don't
still gonna have it?
no, I'm not going to have it in the store. I'm going to have some items. The store is going to become a chocolate shop.
I don't think that's gonna make anybody sad.
What I plan to do is to expand the chocolate to add the peanut butters, the malted milk balls, the different types of chocolates, the fudge, and that the whole store would be a chocolate shop. And I have a third area that it's still in renovation that I want to make into a cafe so that you could sit and have a chocolate dessert, a chocolate pastry, that kind of thing. I won't carry coffee and I won't carry soda, but I will carry tea and I will have hot chocolate. I have some hot chocolates that I got from South Africa that have done very, very well. And if any of your listeners have seen the movie Chocolat,
Yes.
it features the types of chocolate that I want to carry. And the hot chocolate, you cannot make it with water. If you make my hot chocolate with water, I will hunt you down. I just want to say that. If you make it with water, I will hunt you down, I promise.
So what would you say are your greatest challenges?
Uh, foot traffic.
Hmm.
Madison being a small town, I don't get the foot because I'm not on Main Street. I
Hmm.
don't get the foot traffic that I would get if I was located on Main because you have to come off of the main thoroughfare and actually look for my store,
Hmm.
say, or know it's there in
Hmm.
order to buy chocolatier. So I have a balloon out, I have a stand out, a tri stand out in front of the store so that people can see it from a distance. I am going to reach out to the city of Madison and ask about putting a sign on the corner of Washington and Maine to see if having a sign that points down here
Hmm.
to let people know this is where I am.
Well, and hopefully this will help as well.
Hope so.
What would you say are your favorite restaurants in this area?
Ooh, two that I haven't eaten at.
Okay.
I think one of them is 220.
Down 220?
Yep. I got a sample there. I gave them I gave
Hmm.
them samples of truffles
Hmm.
and they gave me samples of food. And I thought, okay, I have to come back.
It's good.
And there's a barbecue restaurant
The
on Madison,
the
on Washington.
caboose down there.
Is that what's called?
I
And I've been telling myself I have got to go, but it's like every time I want to go and I think about going, they're closing
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we have the same
yeah.
time schedule. So I'm going to go there one Saturday after
The tickled pig. I'm gonna have to look it up now. I know what that
Mhm.
restaurant's called.
But I like good barbecue. I really
You
do.
know that we have DoorDash here. You can order it and bring
Hmm.
it to you.
I know, but I like the ambiance
I
of
know
sitting
you're right
down
down there.
and having somebody come and say, "More tea or
Yeah.
more another refill." Okay, yes, thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
My anniversary is this November,
Ah,
and I've actually invited some dignitaries to come and help me celebrate.
nice.
One of them, and no pressure, sir, no pressure if you're watching this, but I've actually invited Senator Warnock
Okay.
to attend, and the reason I did is because I met him. The senator is a Morehouse alum,
Mm.
and he was the keynote speaker for the last year that I was there. And I got to speak with him, and I just admire him so much. So I reached out to his office, and I told him, I said, I would love to have you come to my 1 year anniversary celebration. I'm hoping he does, but I've invited others, hoping that they will attend
Hmm.
because it's been the fact that I'm the only black owned business, retail business,
Hmm.
because there are other black owned
Hmm.
businesses in historic downtown Madison. but they're primarily food,
Mm-hmm.
and mine is retail.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm hoping that others will see what I've done and
Mm-hmm.
think, you know what? I never really thought about it, but I think I can do this. I
Mm-hmm.
want to open my own store. I want to open my own shop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard work.
It is very hard.
You think to yourself, okay, I need to hire somebody. I have to do this. You need to be good at social media, which I'm not. So you hire somebody young.
Yeah.
my
Yes.
my employee, I'm telling you, I have clothing in my closet that's older than she is, but she knows social media,
Mm-hmm.
and so that helps me.
Mm-hmm.
And I spend a lot of time working on getting the store out there,
Mm-hmm.
letting people know I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I'm closed on Monday and Tuesday, I'm still working.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working. I go into Atlanta, I go to other parts of Georgia to see what people are doing
Mm-hmm.
and to let them know about my store in Madison, you know.
Yeah. All about talking to
Hmm.
people. What would you like to see most improve in this area?
I'd like to see Madison do more of what Monroe does.
Okay.
Monroe has a central area in downtown Monroe where they every weekend they have, I don't want to call it a flea market, but they have a shopping market.
Mm-hmm.
And people come from all over to shop, and the local vendors get an opportunity to set up their wares at this area so people who don't know about them find out more about what they have so that they will come to their stores
Mm-hmm.
and shop. And I think we have this huge park
Mm-hmm.
that I think we don't have to have it every Saturday because there are other events that go on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we should have it at least maybe once a month. We have an open air vendor event
Mm-hmm.
so that, and we let people know as far away as Atlanta to Augusta, South Carolina. These are people who come to Madison anyway
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
Madison is very interesting. It has a lot of history. They
Right in
come
the
for the
middle.
tour of homes,
Mm-hmm.
which, by the way, the homes in this town are magnificent.
Amazing.
There's no other
Yes.
word for
I
it.
know.
They are
They're beautiful.
incredible.
I
And
drive around
because
just to look at them.
I know, right? And I think, love it, can't live there, but I love it.
Yeah.
You know. Um, but we get them coming for that, for
Mm-hmm.
those things. I think it would help the shops here if we had once a month a Saturday in the park where people just come to shop
Mm-hmm.
and they find out about the vendors, and the local vendors could put something outside of their store
Mm-hmm.
to just keep people moving around Madison.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I've learned is summer in Madison can be quiet because everybody's on the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a way to bring shoppers back here
Mm-hmm.
on a Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
you know, is to have a Saturday shoppers day, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I agree. So, what is something that most people don't know about you?
Is that I went hot air ballooning
Fun.
for my 70th birthday.
Awesome.
And I went to Las Vegas hoping to see I'm a huge Raider fan, huge Raider fan. And so I went hoping to see the Raiders. They were playing on my birthday, but because of COVID,
Oh no.
I couldn't go to the stadium.
Classic COVID.
People who know me know I'm a diehard football fan. But since living in Madison, I've learned that you don't say dogs, you say dogs.
Dogs.
And I've learned how to say it.
Good.
So I'm
Keep
becoming
learning the
more,
language.
I'm learning the language, but I'm learning how to appreciate college football
Yeah.
and understand college football. Um, it's small town living is so different from what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
What I love though is people see me or they see my car because it has a sign on it
Mm-hmm.
and they wave
Yeah.
and they go hi.
Yeah.
And I like that.
That's good.
I like being a part of a community. It's a great feeling,
Good.
you know.
I'm glad to hear that. Why do you think it's important for people to shop local?
There's a there's a uniqueness about shopping local that you can't find when you go to the mall
Mm-hmm.
or even if you shop online. Um, but there's a uniqueness about going to someone's store. You're not just shopping in a store and buying a necklace or a bracelet or a pillow or a scarf. You're buying someone's passion.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem with it, you can go to the owner and say, this didn't work, or this is not right. And maybe they can't, we don't have the luxury of being able to give you a full refund. But most retailers will say, well, how about a credit? And get something else. And they will help you find something else. They'll help you find that perfect gift. They'll help you find the perfect outfit for your children, for your spouse. I'm expanding and adding baskets because a lot of retailers have have stores here or they have offices here in Madison and surrounding areas, and they sell property to people on the lake in Milledgeville or Lake St. Clair, Lake Oconee. And I want to be able to offer them a basket so that they can give it to the person who bought a house and say, congratulations. But I think when you shop local, you're getting the blood, sweat, and tears
Yes.
of an individual who is so, they're prideful of their merchandise. That's their baby.
Yeah.
And I think you can tell a lot about a community when you shop at stores there.
Yeah. I agree.
Mhm.
Most memorable customer experience.
A woman came in and she says, I don't really want anything. I just want to try a truffle. I said, okay. I said, white, dark, or milk? And she says, it doesn't matter. Give me milk. So she tried sea salt. And I rang her up, gave her the truffle. She went back outside, got in her car, pulled out a driveway, back in, and came back in and said, okay, that was delicious, and bought a dozen.
A dozen.
And I gave her a free one. The other thing that is memorable is a lot of Madison's finest come through, or if I see them, I will give them a free truffle. A lot of the policemen and policewomen here in Madison have had a sample, and then they come back and buy it, and they know the store. During a storm, we had a power outage, and I had literally just walked out the door to go take out the trash when the lights went out. Well, I couldn't get back in my store because it's powered by a code. And I said, okay, I can't get back in. And everything was in the store. My wallet, my keys, my phone was in the store. And so I went over to the restaurant on Main Street.
Oh, the Chop House.
Chop House. I went over there and I said, I can't get in my store. So they called the police, and the police officer that came actually had truffles. She says, oh, I love your truffles. She allowed me to sit in her car and wait a few minutes, and then the lights came back on, so she let me in.
Nice.
So of course I gave her a truffle.
Absolutely.
It's the feeling of a small town.
Yes.
Is when
they know you.
They know you.
Yeah.
And they take care of you.
Yeah.
So that's a good feeling.
So besides working, what do you love to do?
I do a lot of traveling to, don't laugh, small towns. I found Jackson, Georgia, Milledgeville, which they would probably be mad at me if I said that they're a small town, but to me they are.
Yeah.
I discovered Thompson, I think, out I-20. I love traveling to other parts of Georgia and seeing what they have, what's out there. I love driving to other parts of Georgia and seeing small towns. Um, this is kind of weird, and I hope people don't think I'm strange, but cemeteries.
Yeah.
I go and I look at the cemetery and I wonder about the life of the person that's there. And the funny thing is, when I lived in Atlanta, I never went to Oakland Cemetery until after I left. And then I went back. But cemeteries, not because of any scary, spooky thing. And I usually go, in fact, I always go during the day because
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it real.
Yeah.
I'm going during the day.
Yeah.
But just reading what somebody wrote. And ironically enough, the first time I went to a cemetery, I mean, really looked at it, was downtown Lower Manhattan, right after 9/11.
Uh,
That the cemetery was damaged by the fall of the Twin Towers.
mhm,
And that's when I looked at it and looked at the names on it and thought, wow, some
mhm,
of the cemeteries were 2 centuries old.
mhm,
So that I think is interesting.
mhm.
But I really do like visiting small towns. Love going to thrift stores.
Yeah. We
Love
have a lot
going
of
to,
those here.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Love going to thrift stores. Love going to garage sales, yard
Mhm.
sales. I like doing that,
Mhm.
you know.
Me
So.
too. We have a lot in common. Okay, so what is the best way for people to contact you?
Always call the store.
Call the store.
Because if I'm not here, my phone number, the store phone number is forwarded to me.
Okay, good.
So that, because if anyone has a question that they want an answer.
Mhm.
And a lot of times it's, when are you open? Because
Yeah.
I'm open kind of weird times.
Mhm.
I'm closed Monday and Tuesday. I'm
It's
open
your
on
weekend.
Sunday. Um, but there are times when I go to events to sell the chocolates, or I
Mhm.
go to um, a fair to sell the chocolates.
Mhm.
And I do have coverage sometimes. Sometimes I close the store.
Mhm.
I won't do that as much now because now I have an assistant who can
Mhm.
help me with that. Um, but if they call me and say, "Listen, are you affiliated with a store in Covington?" There is a chocolate box, I believe, in Covington.
Mm.
We're not affiliated, but I'm definitely going to see because
Yeah, with
I
it.
want to see what ideas she has or he
Mhm.
has that can help me, and I want to share my ideas with them. I'm going to New York in November or December to talk to chocolate vendors about carrying their merchandise.
Okay.
Um, and just to see how there are a lot of chocolate stores
Mhm.
in New York City, to see how their setup is
Mhm.
and how I can use it here,
Mhm.
you know. Mhm.
Nice. Nice. Well, we'll put all of your contact information, including your website and all
Thank you.
that stuff in the video
Mhm.
description. So make sure and read that below. And you can find her on our Park Bench page as well.
Mhm.
So,
And I'm on Facebook and Instagram. The website is being built, so it's still under construction, as they say.
it's being molded.
Yes.
Chocolate. Okay. So, last question. When your life is over, how would you like to be remembered? That's a hard one.
I want It's so funny you would ask that. I'm a member of Toastmasters, and one of the questions I asked the group is, if money was no object, what would you like written on your headstone? And I said, great broad, loves to dance, and life was good.
Okay.
That's what I want. I want people to remember that it is okay to do what you want at any time in your life. Don't say, oh, I can't do that because I'm this. I'm a woman. I'm black. I'm white. I'm too
Purple.
old. I've got kids. I've got a. If you want to do it, at least find out how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then ask people who have done it
Mm-hmm.
to see what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Don't not do it because of the obstacles that you think you have.
Right.
I started my business at 72, technically, 71. And I think I have a lot of years left that I could do more
Mm-hmm.
things. Can you imagine if I decided, oh, I can't do this, I'm too old?
Mm-hmm.
Madison wouldn't have more chocolate.
I know. You wouldn't be here.
I would like to encourage people to do what they've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Do it yesterday,
Yeah.
you know. Don't wait another day. If you can't do it, at least research it. Find
Mhm.
out about it. Talk to people who are doing it or have done it, and do what you love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Well, that's it for this episode of Morgan County Movers and Shakers. If you liked the show, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. If you have questions, feedback, or opinions you want to share, please comment below. And if you know somebody that needs to know this woman and this store, share it. And if you want to get notified of when another episode comes out so that you can get to know the hidden gems and treasures and local leaders in Morgan County, then subscribe to the show and click the bell notification icon to make sure you know when it comes up. Your engagement means more to me than you know because it helps local businesses, professionals, and leaders of our community to get more exposure for what they do. And because it tells these platforms to put this content in front of more people. And that is super important for the growth of Morgan County. So thank you in advance for doing that. And if you're thinking about buying or selling or investing in real estate in Morgan County and you want to work with a local market expert, that's me. I work with eXp Realty and I've been in real estate for about 2.5 years now. I live in Madison in the Morgan County area, and so I'm specializing in this area as well. I can help you find the right home and negotiate better deals because I've chosen to be a local market expert and I can tell you about the local businesses in this area. And even if you're not ready to move and you just want to chat about real estate, I'm happy to help. Just reach out to me. You can find all of my contact information in the description below. So thank you so much, Jatika, for joining us today and for sharing with us. And I'm so excited to get to know you. And I'm so excited for the people of Morgan County to get to know you as well. And you've got some customers kind of hanging out right now looking in the windows, but they're not open today, so they'll have to come back.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. I
Sure.
enjoyed this, and I'm going to give you some chocolate.
Well, thank you so much. We'll see y'all next time.
Take care.
Bye-bye.